Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the 2016 book, The Trials of Apollo, The Hidden Oracle. This is written by Rick Riordan. This is the first book after The Heroes of Olympus has concluded, but this takes place 6 months after The Heroes of Olympus concludes, and Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard takes place 6 months after The Heroes of Olympus books conclude. So Gay has been defeated. We're good. Annabeth is in Boston looking for Magnus, January, and it's referenced that it is January, 6 months after, in this book, it's January, 6 months after Gaius was defeated in Italy, and, Greece, and that Annabeth is in Boston doing some family stuff. Okay, so we're on the same timeline here, right? Now, so I have the Italian versions of the Magnus Chase books, and I now have the United Kingdom versions of the Trials of Apollo books because of the cover. Look how awesome this cover is compared to this. Yes, they're both cool, but like this looks like a movie poster. This is pretty. This one's pretty, right? But like this is cool, right? This is really cool. So this is interesting because I've never seen the very beginning of a book represented on the actual jacket cover. Normally you see like, down the line, but like this is like maybe 2 chapters in, and this is literally how the book starts. Apollo literally falls from the sky into an alleyway of New York City into a dumpster where he meets Meg McCaffrey, a demigod. Hysterical and awesome that it's the cover of this book. So the UK covers are far more superior than the American covers, I've said it, but also like the height difference of the books, right? I don't know, international books are confusing to me, but because American books are normally these dimensions, but like this is, I find more convenient because it's bigger. I don't know, preference, I guess. But yeah, so I have the Italian Magnus Chase books and I have the UK Trials of Apollo books. So the Hidden Oracle. What's the Hidden Oracle? Why is Apollo a god, right? Why is he going through these trials again? Zeus turned him into a human twice already. Why this third time? Well, and it's referenced in the end of Blood of Olympus, where Zeus blames Apollo for the rise of Gaia and the craziness of Octavian and why Octavian died and why Gaia needed to be defeated and all these things. But through the course of this book, we find out that the triumvirate, I can't get this word, triumvirate, triumvirate, a political alliance formed by 3 parties. Okay, so Triumvirate Holdings is this massive conglomerate company that is run by 3 Roman emperors who are now god emperors. So they're not technically dead, they're not technically zombies, they didn't come back from the doors of death, they just always have been there. And it's explained the same way that the gods have always been there, that through memory, through prayer, devotion, sacrifice, all those things, right? And that's how these 3 emperors, led by Nero, N-E-R-O, Emperor Nero, one of the crazy Romans that existed, who's still alive, owns massive real estate, owns massive companies. Turns out he's the one who founded Luke Castellan's Revenge Against Olympus. He's the one who helped fund Octavian's revenge against Camp Half-Blood. So they've always been there. Triumvirate Holdings has always been there, doing some shady shit going on. So we get some backstory, which is pretty cool. Like, how did Luke afford a cruise ship? We now know. So it's neat. All these years later, decades later, we get some more information. Technically 12 years later. No, 16? What did I say? This was what? May 2016. Percy Jackson Lightning Thief came out 2005, so 11 years later. So Apollo is now a human. He goes by the name of Lester Papadopoulos. He's still arrogant, but like trying to redeem himself in the same time. He meets this demigod, Meg McCaffrey. They go visit Percy Jackson on his Upper East Side apartment. Percy escorts him to Camp Half-Blood, so that way Chiron can talk to Apollo about like what's going on, why is he mortal, all these things. There's not many campers at camp because it's the winter time, but also they're disappearing into the woods. So like What's with the disappearance? What is this hidden oracle? If the oracles don't exist anymore, right, because Python has taken over the Oracle of Delphi and all the other oracles have shut off, basically, and we know that from the Blood of Olympus, what's going on? Why can't there be prophecies anymore? Why can't Rachel get any more prophecies? Things, right? So Apollo and Meg are at camp. Turns out Meg is the daughter of Demeter. We have Will Salas and Nico D'Angelo doing their cute little couple bickering back and forth, pretty much running camp. Absolutely awesome. But then as the story progresses, where we have Meg and Apollo going into the eastern forest, eastern woods of camp, chasing after these Mirmeeks, who are these giant, ants. And we've seen the Mirmeeks in previous books, like they've been monsters that have been recurring and stuff like that. But there's like a massive Mirmeek nest within the woods. But also, like, why do they keep getting drawn into the woods? Turns out the Grove of Dodona happens to be the hidden oracle in the camp's woods, because of the labyrinth being, a thing again. So it's very interesting how all of these things are being put into place back in Camp Half-Blood on Long Island. This book is awesome because it's so simple. We're in Manhattan and we're on Long Island. That's it. We ain't traveling nowhere else. We're in two places. We're on the island of Manhattan. We're on the Long Island. I was going to say the island of Long, but that's not a thing. So then, emperors are faced and, like, truths are told that Emperor Nero, who goes by the Beast sometimes, is the stepfather of Meg McCaffrey, and she actually tricked him to get him to the Grove of Dodona because he wants to wipe out the Grove of Dodona and burn all of Long Island down, make it his brand new palace, basically, the whole island. And then they get some prophecies out of the Grove of Dodona, as well as an arrow that speaks to Apollo, and only Apollo, the arrow of Dodona, because it's made from Dodona oak. But it's also funny because Apollo, who's an awesome bisexual god that he is, talks about the loves of his life, Hyacinthus and Daphne, how they both perished because of his arrogance, but also that he met this pretty hot god with a talking sword back in a bar back in the day. And he's referencing Frey with the Summerbrander sword that we learn and love from the Magnus Chase and Gods of Asgard book. So it's just so fun having all these different gods and goddesses, these different immortals interact with each other. I absolutely love it. Love it. And that's what's cool about moving forward in the Trials of Apollo books, because we talk about the Ptolemaic gods, because Greek invaded Egypt for a long time, and then those gods mashed together and had their own empire and immortals and things like that. It's just so cool. History is cool. Some history is cool. I hate American history. I hate U.S. American history. Let me rephrase that. But I love Mediterranean history. I think that's really neat, how everything changes constantly, but like everything influences each other. So cool, especially in architecture. So we get a prophecy from the Grove of Dodona. It's talking about a bronze beast with a 3-seater and happy arrives and all these things. And they're talking about Festus. Festus in English, it means happy. So Festus, the flying bronze dragon with the 2 ruby eyes that he is, receives a beacon from Harley, who is a younger Hephaestus camper, a younger brother of Leo Valdez, who we know faked his death to free Calypso from her island. So then Leo and Calypso come on Festus, talk to people. Leo gets punched a lot, and don't do that again. But they formulate a plan to figure out how to do this. So Leo, Calypso, and Apollo are now on a quest to Middle America to figure out why they need to go to Indiana, what's in Indiana, and all these different things, and moving forward for his trials, the Trials of Apollo. The next book is The Dark Prophecy. So what Dark Prophecy will we get? I know we've reviewed book 3, 4, and 5. This is us reviewing 1. So technically, the second book is our last review of the Trials of Apollo's book. But I'm going to keep them all chronological in a playlist version of it. But yeah, Trials of Apollo, Hidden Oracle, book 1. Awesome, simple, awesome book that it is. We absolutely love it. Mucho mahalo.